Second to None. I'm your host, Mike. And tonight, we have a very special program for you. Usually I do all SEC teams because I figure that's the best team in football. People can say what they want to say, but it is what it is. But, SEC is the best. But tonight, we're not going to just do SEC. Tonight, we have a special show. This is all about the college football playoffs. We have Jason representing Georgia. We have Max representing Ohio State. We have Tremont representing Michigan. And we have Mitchell representing TCU, the Frogs. We in the house, baby. Tonight's just going to be a fun show. Hey, guys, thank you guys so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. We had a hard time getting in here, man. We did, but we all made it happen. We are here right now. Just briefly, before we actually get started, just a real brief introduction of you and how long you've been cheering for your respective teams. So here's the order. We're going to go with Georgia, Michigan, TCU, and then Ohio State. We'll finish with you. All right, Georgia.
What's up, Michael?
Hey,
man, I'm so glad I've been a Georgia fan since I was born and raised right here in good old South Georgia. Man, I tell you what, I've gone through a whole chain. Kirby Smart is my coach, y'all. That's my man, and I'm looking forward to this season, guys. I'm sorry. I'm looking forward to the playoff. You want to scratch that?
Second season.
Well, yeah, that's right. The second season. So
second season.
Can I give you another one of those, Michael? You can cut it.
Yeah, that's cool. You good? Don't worry about it.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry.
Hey, okay, Tremont.
Yo, my name's Tremaine.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm from Ohio, but I'm a Michigan fan since I was born. I've been Amazing Blue because I have family that played for the University of Michigan. Amazing Blue. Jim Harbaugh has finally got it right, and it's our time to shine, baby. It's our time to shine.
Oh my God,
Mitch. It's on you, Mitch.
Hey, listen, my boy Tremaine. I can get a beer with my boy any other day of the week. God bless. Hey, my name is Mitchell Smith. I'm from South Fort Worth, Texas. Grew up in a small town called Crowley. I've been rooting on my Frogs since the day I was born. I decided to play collegiate football. They told me I was too short to play D1, so I played at the D2 level. But have repped my Frogs all the way through. 2014 broke our heart. I think we would have beat anybody in 14. I don't think anybody was stopping TB2 with them boys. I just think Max Duggan's story is too good. I just think TCU speed. We'll get into it, but I'm excited. Happy to be here.
Max.
I'm Maximus, originally from Cleveland, Ohio. I'm down in Dallas, Texas right now. Been a Buckeye since I was born. Right now I'm in what we call the Buckeye room. I went to Ohio State Agricultural School. I am inked all Buckeyes. This is going to be our year. It's going to be like the first playoff. Nobody gave us a chance against Alabama, and we took it to them. It's going to be the repeat. We're going to come back. We'll bring the trophy back to Columbus. Go Bucks.
Well, I think there you have it. I tell you, I can see it's amazing how each one of you guys, while listening to your opponent speak, you was like, man, whatever, dude. Right. That seems to be the what was going on. But hey, man, congratulations to all you guys, man. You guys have showed college football the voters and everyone says these are the teams that deserves to play for the national championship. And man, I think as a fan myself, I think I speak for everybody. We just want it to be competitive. We want something that comes down, sitting on the end of your chair, watching what's going to happen next, take your breath away, and just leave fans just wanting more. So, I wish all you guys the best, and I hope you guys definitely have success. But we're going to just get right into some questions. The questions tonight will pretty much be general for everyone. But I want to start with TCU. TCU, you finally made it, man. You're representing for the schools that have been pushed around and been looked over, but they let you guys in. Not just let you guys in. Let me say you guys earned your way in.
Yeah.
They did. They got in.
Let me make sure I say that because that's very important.
Yeah, I think a lot of people too. They say what you want about the 12. It's offense, there's no defense. It's tough to have to play everybody every single year. And when in a conference that doesn't have divisions where you have to see everybody no matter what every single year. TCU's bye week was September 12th. They didn't have a bye after that. They played 11 straight weeks, rattled off 11 straight wins. So they speed wise, talent wise, strength wise, Coach Kaz came in, made a huge difference for these boys. For me, I was a Gary Patterson guy. I love GP. I loved everything about GP. So it sucks for me to see the GP had this talent. He just didn't have the right mantra to put this team together. But Sonny Dykes has really come in. These boys believe, and they don't care who they're playing. They step on, they don't care. They have that kind of that flashy mentality about them. And Max Duggan's the heart, back, soul. It's hard to root against the kid, and he is what he is. But they're good all over the field. They can stop the run, they can stop the pass. With Michigan, that's going to be, it's going to be a big deal. So
Well, that actually leads me to my first question for you, Mitch. How do you guys stop the run in Michigan? Because Michigan.
So I think they got to play Michigan like they played Texas. I think they got to load the box and hope their All-Americans on the backside of their defense can, lock up and play, how they have. Tomlinson, Hodgson, those guys like that, those guys are freaks, man. You look at Bijan, who just lit everybody up. I don't have the number in front of me. I was actually trying to look for it. I think TCU held him to 23 yards on 12 touches, and that's the kind of game they got to get into with Michigan. Michigan's depth is going to be an issue. It just is overall for TCU against any of these bigger name schools. But I think you're going to have to load the box. I think you're going to have to trust your speed on the outside. And I don't think you per se want to get in a track meet. I think you kind of want to get a little bit of a slower start and then run away from it at the end, wear them down and go.
Michigan, TCU seems to have a high power offense. How do you guys slow them down?
Well, we played one of the high power offenses in Ohio State. And it's pretty much going to be almost a similar game plan. Keep everything keep the receivers in front of you, make the tackles in space, get pressure, but contain pressure. Don't get outside of your gaps and lanes because you got a mobile quarterback that can make plays on his legs. So you got to contain him and keep him in the pocket. Make sure you don't give up the big play. That's the big thing. Keep everything in front of you, make tackles, and I think they'll be fine because Michigan is stingy down in the goal line, the red zone. We don't give up touchdowns a lot in the red zone. So when you get down there, the run game becomes more of a factor where Michigan's defensive line is physical. So when it gets down to the goal line, I think we can contain and hold them to field goals. If we can hold them to field goals, TCU's going to score. They got an offense. They're going to score. The biggest thing is don't give up the big plays with this. And don't let it turn into a track meet. Just let them. It's like a boxer. You want to just keep hitting with body blows, and wear them down. And with the depth and the size of the offensive line, that's what I think Michigan has to do to stop this offense. To just be physical at the point of attack.
Okay. Hey, well, TCU, I mean, Michigan, who they are, they don't, they have a strong red zone defense. Good luck with that, man. For real. Yeah. I know you was talking about quarterbacks, so you can't talk about quarterbacks without talking about Bennett and CJ Stroud. Starting with you first, Georgia, how do you contain CJ Stroud and shut his game down so he's not effective?
Well, I tell you, you got to think about this. How do we, first of all, it's number 88, Jalen Carter. This guy, he is a one-man wrecking machine. We remember him well in the LSU game, holding the quarterback for LSU like a trophy and his number one finger up in the air. That's something that'll live on forever in Georgia history. But I believe that what we've got to do is put some pressure on CJ Stroud. And I think you also can't overlook the defensive game plan that Kirby Smart Will Muschamp and Schumann are going to put together. They are a dynamic trio. And man, they will have us ready for this game. And I believe that you're going to see us. I believe you're going to see us in the backfield all night long. And if things go our way, you're going to see CJ Stroud on his back a good bit.
Maximus, how do you guys contain Bennett? How do you not let Bennett get comfortable and let him have his way all night, whether it's throwing or with his feet?
Yeah, that's the thing. They're extremely balanced offense. They run the ball just as good as they pass the ball. I think they run the ball for over 200 something yards a game, and they pass the ball for nearly 300, I believe. So we got to get them at 3 and outs. I believe we can't let them control the clock. We can't let them eat up the clock. We can't let them lean on our defensive line the whole game. If anybody watched that Michigan game, our defensive front did pretty good for the first half, but our defensive backfield did not hold up. And that's been an issue with us all year long, is our defensive backfield. So if our defensive backfield does what it's supposed to do and becomes the athletes and the recruits that they came in to be, that's a key to stopping Stetson. We got to follow their receivers and their tight ends. Their tight ends are huge, and they throw to them a lot, and they block. They got their offense running around those tight ends. So we got to stop that. So if we can stop those tight ends, get them in 3 and outs, don't let him just sit there and lean the ball on us. We got to cut that. If they're averaging 500 something yards a game, we got to get that down to 300 yards a game at least.
Yeah, Mitchell, how important is the line of scrimmage for you guys against Michigan?
For us, I think it's super important. I think you look at our offensive line, they've been ranked towards the top all year. They've got a wily group, I think 4 seniors and a junior. You know, we moved the ball well. You know, early in the year, I was actually watching the game against Colorado, and not a lot was going right, but I felt like we were controlling the ball on both fronts. And all year, when we've kind of gotten in those dog fights, we have controlled it. And I kind of think that's where they lost against Kansas State. I thought for the first time all year they lost that edge in the trenches. And I think that, you know, everybody wants to say, why not have Duggan, you know, quarterback sneak that last ball? Well, you know, Avila and Coker and all those guys up front, you know, you got an 1,800-yard back. Give Kendra the ball, he hunts end zones, you know?
Yeah.
You know, I think it's super important, especially with Michigan's size. I think TCU's got to prove that they can sit in the trench and battle 100%.
Jermaine, will you guys' line of scrimmage be too much for them to contain?
I think down the stretch it will be. I mean, this is the second straight year in a row we won the best offensive line in college football. And we have the best center in football. And he's a monster. He is a monster. Now he can control the signals. He controls the line to protection. And the man can do everything. You could pull him. You can run. He can trap. You can pretty much do any run combination with him with blocking, and he's going to make a hole. And so for us, the line of scrimmage has been our bread and butter all year round. Everyone knows that we run the ball. Everyone knows we're physical. Penn State knows it. Ohio State knows it. Even when we played Georgia last year in the playoffs, Georgia knew, and that's how they game plan to stop it. They knew how important it was with the line of scrimmage. So if you're going to beat Michigan, you have to control the line of scrimmage. But every time we win the line of scrimmage, we win the game. And that's what basically comes down to.
It's up to those big boys up there to take care of business. That's where it starts at all the time.
Yeah.
So my next 2 questions, which would be for all of you, these are going to be 2 face-off questions. So we're going to start with Georgia and Ohio State, and then we get you guys next. Starting with, actually, I'm going to start with you this time, Max. This is for the 30-second face-off. What fears you most about your opponent? Hold on 1 second. Okay, you can start when you're ready.
What fears me most about the Georgia is their tight ends. Bowers, Bowers in Washington. Washington, he's a big blocker. They don't throw it to him a lot, but he gets all over the place. He opens up holes and he's blocking downfield. And Bowers blocks and he catches. Washington's like 270 pounds, and Bowers is no little boy either. I think Bowers was first team SEC this year, if I'm not mistaken. And he had 726 yards receiving for a tight end. That's pretty good. So, and I know Georgia likes to run those 2 tight end sets. So if we could slow that down, keep it in front of us, and not let them blow us up off that line, we're going to be in a pretty good shape, I think.
Okay, Jason, what fears you most about playing Ohio State?
I tell you what, I got 2 parts here. So CJ Stroud, of course, Heisman finalist, incredibly accurate quarterback, man. If you give him time in the pocket, he will slice and dice you up to these 2 incredible wideouts that each have over 1,000 yards receiving on the year. But I tell you what, that aside, the number one thing that fears me is, man, the emotional factor. Ohio State were humiliated in the game with Michigan, dominated. Anybody who saw that game knows they got a spanking, and it went on for quite a while. And that's one of the most heated rivalries in all of college football. And guess what? Their dreams and hopes were over. Michigan put them out, and now all of a sudden they get a rebirth. Man, can you imagine the infusion of energy? It's like crack cocaine circulating in your veins all of a sudden, and you're like, man, we have another shot at this thing. I think the momentum that Ohio State, that surge of energy, it's going to be hard. Georgia's got to be able to match that kind of energy, and I don't know how to do it. So that is the number one thing for me, is worrying about that high intensity resurgence of the death coming back to life.
Thank you. All right, Michigan, what fears you about playing TCU?
They're the quarterback and their receivers. They have a lot of speed out outside. They can out of these teams in the playoffs, they're second in plays over 40 yards as far as pass plays. And the quarterback is because he can improvise and he's got a cannon. He's got a big arm and he's very accurate with the deep ball. So that is my biggest fear, is the big plays and the big explosive plays from the quarterback from the TCU offense.
In TCU?
Yep. With Michigan, I mean, obviously J.J. McCarthy, you know, he doesn't win you a game, but he doesn't lose you a game either, right? So you got to almost, you know, fear the unknown with him. You know, Donovan Edwards, you know, obviously Corum's out, right? Or who wouldn't be scared of that? But Donovan Edwards has proven, hey, I'm that guy too. You know, I'm going to tote it too. You know, on the outside, Ronnie Bell, guys like that. Those guys are good, bro. They're fast. Like I said earlier, their depth scares me. The size, you know, stuff like that. You know, and really for TCU, can you control the moment? Okay, you're here. Can you continue to be what you've said you are all year? Or does the moment now overwhelm you? Can you bounce back from that Kansas State loss? I think TCU's got a lot of demons in that first quarter. They're going to tell you a lot about what that game is going to be for them.
Okay, that's cool. And you know, you actually answered a little bit of my question. I was going to ask you because, you know, Jason mentioned about Ohio State losing to Michigan and basically their dreams going down. I think you guys kind of had an idea that you guys was a lock in the playoffs.
No, sir.
So
we won by 60 in 2014 and dropped from 3 to 6. So
yeah.
no, there's no locks around this 8,000 undergrad school down here.
So
yeah, exactly what your point is. Yes, sir.
So does that motivate? I'm sorry. Does that motivate you guys that much more, knowing that you guys let Kansas State beat you and then you still get in, and now you feel like you got even more to prove?
You know, I talked about this week. And this is where you find out how good Sonny Dykes is, right? You know, I'm all about Sonny Dykes. I'm all about how good Sonny's been. But these are Gary's guys, right? So I know Sonny's had a good year. How good are you in 2 or 3 years with your recruits? You know, and you're going to get them here. But as far as this game goes, because I think they're a heavy group of seniors and it's a bunch of guys that have not had the best 3 years, TCU's ever had. These dudes are hungry, man. And Quentin, Max, I mean, Tomlinson, these guys are. It's just it is what it is. But I think the moment's gonna be too big. But like I just said, show me those first two possessions: a possession on offense, a possession on defense, and a possession with adversity. And let's see how he hangs. If you look when we played Ohio State a couple years ago, it's a good game for 3 quarters, and you lost that game in a 3-minute stretch in the third quarter because you lost your head. You can't have those stretches against these teams, and they know that. So, you'll see. We'll see what happens.
All right. So I was going to do a face-off question. Instead, I want to do a one-word question. I mean, a one-word answer from each one of you guys. Starting with Georgia. Who's your top weapon on offense?
Rock.
One name. Ohio State. Who's you guys' best weapon on offense?
Harrison Jr.
Michigan.
Donovan.
TCU.
Quentin.
Now, one more question against one for all of you. Starting with Georgia. Georgia, who's you guys' best defensive weapon?
Jalen Carter.
Ohio State.
JT Tuamaola. I can't even pronounce his name, but
Well, you did better than I did. You did better than
I
I
can't
did.
even pronounce it.
I can't
JTT, man, JTT.
You nailed it.
JTT. He's got to be a beast. JTT.
Michigan
I was like Michael Smith, defensive tackle.
and TCU.
Johnny Hodges.
Man, this is going to be exciting, man. I really think it just feels like, first of all, it feels like it's been weeks since we've seen some good quality football. So I think the nation is just ready to see these ball games. I think the kids are emotional. The kids are just all ready to play. And, dude, I'm just ready to see some good football. My guys, Kentucky, they didn't do so well like I thought they would this year. Whatever. But, hopefully these games are going to be really, really quality football games. So my next face-off question is this, gentlemen. What's the number one thing you have to consistently do to force your opponent to play your game? TCU, we're going to start with you for 30 seconds. Hold on 1 second. So, this is, you got to find a way to stop your opponent, that's for sure, without being said. Okay, you can go, TCU.
How I'm stopping my opponent or what I have to do to set the tone for me?
What's the number one thing you have to consistently do to force Michigan to play your game?
Run the ball. We have to run the ball. Kendra Miller's got to touch it 30 times. Kendra, he doesn't get enough love, man. Kendra Miller's an absolute dog. Mercado coming in right behind him. Amani Bailey behind him. I mean, TCU is running back rich, but we have to run the ball. We can't get away from the run. We can't go a possession where one of those guys isn't taking a touch. TCU's biggest issues this year have been when they've gotten away from the runs. Why they were behind against Oklahoma State. It's why they were behind in Tech. All these other games where they play from behind because they're trying to throw it. Hand it to Kendra and let him do what Kendra does. The guy's just, I can't say enough about Kendra Miller, man. He's one of my favorite players in the country to watch.
Michigan, what's the number one thing you have to do to consistently force TCU to play your game?
It's like the Big Ten bully ball, old school smash mouth, 2 tight ends, 3 tight ends, fullback, and you smash mouth. You hit them, you keep running it for 4 quarters. Don't get over pass happy because of what you did at Ohio State. Keep bully ball and be physical. Not only just on the offensive side of the ball, on the defensive side. You hit those gaps. Every time they touch the ball, you make them feel the pain. Just be bully.
Okay. Ohio State, what's the number one thing you have to do to consistently do to force Georgia to play Ohio State ball?
I think we need to attack. We put up 40 points a game. That's what we do. We got athletes. At the same time, we need to run the ball. We have to be able to run the ball. Every time we run the ball, we can't get pushed back into the backfield. But we have to let Georgia know and SEC teams know that we got speed and that you can't keep up with us. We have to use that to our advantage. We just got to go play our ball. We didn't do that against Michigan for whatever reason. We just didn't. We got to go do that. Play Ohio State ball, attack them. Let's go.
Georgia, what do you got to do to make sure Ohio State plays your game?
First thing we got to do is put QB pressure. CJ Stroud, Heisman finalist. We've got to make sure that he's shut down, that he's feeling the pressure, that he's trying to escape all night long, that we keep him contained. Then we got to shut down the run game. We need to shut down Ohio State's run game and make them one-dimensional. At this point, Keely Ringo and Malachi Starks have got to have some of their best games. We know that they didn't show up real well in LSU. I think Kirby's going to be all over that, and he's going to have them ready because, again, the weapons that Ohio State has, just like my friend said, he said that they have this amazing 40 points a game. They're a pass play. They got to be able to have that run game to set up those passes. If we shut down the run game and we are able to really contain those wideouts, that's when Georgia will be favored in that area.
Yes, sir. That's what you got to do right there. That's it.
Man,
It's funny that everybody said run the ball, right? Everybody's got to find a way to run the ball. I mean,
well, because if you don't run the ball, be balanced, the defense just tees off.
yeah,
They just tees off at the quarterback.
you got to.
Not against these teams.
Yeah.
and that's like with TCU. You got to run it. I mean, as good as baby Megatron is on the outside, and if you haven't watched Quentin Johnson play this year, you're missing out because the dude's going to be one of the first receivers off the board. For him to be effective, though, you start trying to load the box. He said it in his press conference. Sometimes I just close my eyes and throw it up. I know QJ's down there. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Georgia knows about that really well.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
hopefully, I trust my offensive line, man. I really do. They've been so much fun to watch this year. As a hog myself, as somebody who I love watching the game from that perspective. They move bodies, and they've moved big bodies all year. But now, can you move Michigan? You know what I mean? Can you get to that second level? Can you get those linebackers stopped? I mean, I think Michigan's leading sack guy, I think he's a linebacker. If I was looking at that earlier.
Yeah, he is a linebacker.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, can we get him blocked? I mean, it's gonna be tough, man. I mean, Michigan's good. I got nothing to respect. I love Harbaugh. I love Michigan. I've worked in Michigan for a summer. I kind of fell in love with it. I'm about Ohio State. I like that fan base too. So I mean, it's a good group of fan bases. TCU kind of gets a bad rep, but people forget we've only got 10,000 undergrad. Of course we're going to be outnumbered. It's going to be maize and blue in Phoenix. It just is.
Yeah.
But I mean, TCU student section this year was incredible. 10,000 students, and they had 7,500 students in every game. So you're telling me 75% of their whole campus is showing up. I mean,
Wow.
I'll put that percentage up against anybody, But we showed up at the Rose Bowl. We were loud. It was probably 60-40 TCU Wisconsin that year. And all the Wisconsin fans talked about was that the noise the TCU fans brought. They're hungry. We're hungry. We're happy we're not just happy to be here. We're here to win. We're here to really compete. So
you can do it too. Anybody can do it.
I mean,
there's no bad team at this point. There's no
right. And I said it all year. Quit treating us like we're Cincinnati. Right? We played an actual schedule. We didn't play, the American or whatever the hell they came from. And I can't bash Cincinnati. They're coming to the Big 12, right? So I mean, but at the same time, I was at Mountain West school going, just give us a chance. Just give them so. But TCU earned it. And anybody that has an issue with that, most of my friends that talk the most are Texas fans or Baylor fans, or I'm like, you lost. Texas, you been bad. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you, But
it's funny that you bring up Cincinnati, because when I was in the beginning, when I was kind of introducing that TCU made it, for a split second, I had to catch myself. And I was going to say, when you guys when you guys are representing, I was going to bring up Cincinnati, but when I quickly reminded myself is you guys playing a much, much challenging conference than Cincinnati did. So Cincinnati had a really good record, or, they was undefeated or whatever it was. But I really think you guys really, truly earned it because of the quality of the wins.
And and what I tell everybody is this: take the purple and white off TCU and put crimson on it or put burnt orange on it, are we even having the discussion if they should have been there?
Nope.
Probably not.
You know,
So-
I mean, it is. I mean, I thought the right guy won the Heisman. You know, if Duggan gets in the end zone and wins that game, I think he has a little bit more of an argument. But I think this shows that voters need to wait until after conference championship Saturday to turn those votes in. You know, I love Max Duggan, man. I love his team. That 2014 team was special. That 2010 team was special. But there's just something about this team, man. They just don't die. They're like a bunch of cockroaches. I mean,
So I heard a lot of you guys talk about your strength and what you do well, and who all you got on offense and who all you got on defense. But I haven't really seen anybody really break down and really talk about the weakness of their team. Michigan, what's your weakness of your team?
I would say actually throwing the ball against us or defensively, because there's times that our corners would miss tackles or they'd be out of position and give up too much space. That's why I think pass rush is critical against this game against TCU, because sometimes our corners were just they won't be like wide open, but they'll miss tackles and get yards after the tackle miss. So I think for us is probably coverage in space with the secondary would probably be our weakness. And then consistently throwing the ball. Even though we had that monster game against Ohio State, can we consistently continue to throw the ball and complete the deep balls? That would be the other big weakness of us.
Georgia, what kind of weaknesses do you guys have? Don't be so humble. Let us know.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't remember this one in the prep question, so I didn't prepare for it. And as my brain was searching through, I was like, oh, God, I'm going to sound like such an arrogant jacknut. But it's really hard to find a weakness in Georgia right now. If I do have to point out one, it would be the cornerbacks. But even at that, man, I mean, Keelan Ringo, think about it. He was the game-winning interception in that championship game last year. I mean, the guy has been lights out for the most part. He had one bad game against LSU. There was another couple games that of course Missouri. But I'm telling you, I think that cornerback situation right there might be the only place. But I believe we're gonna have that buttoned up come this next Peach Bowl game.
Ohio State, what's your weaknesses? What's your weakness?
Defensive backfield has been all year. It was against Michigan. They're going to need help against those tight ends. They're going to be passing on us. They're going to need help against the run game. They better be ready to go. That's special teams too. I don't like our special teams all year, but that defensive backfield, that's my number one worry is that they're just going to get burnt like they did in Michigan. That's if we can control that, man, we got a good chance of winning. That's a big concern of mine right now. And I know it is with the Buckeye Nation. They're not happy with the defensive backfield. And they're not happy with our defensive coordinator, Jim Knowles, after we bring this guy in. We haven't had a good defense. Buckeyes, we should have a good defense. That's kind of what we're known for. Big Ten, smash mouth. We're popping people in the face. And that hasn't happened the last couple of years. And you win defenses like that. Defenses win championships. Offense sells tickets, defense wins championships. And that's what worries me about Georgia, because I know he wasn't trying to sound cocky. And yeah, they're DBs, they're good, but he's probably right there. That is where I think we could take advantage with Marvin Harrison and things like that. But they're hard. They might be a better team than they were this year. And if we get knocked off, if they knock us off, good luck to TCU and Michigan, because they're a really good team. They were favored in the beginning of the year. They've put it to everybody all year long. And I don't know how Georgia feels about playing Ohio State right now, but like you said before, we felt this, like, we're not happy about getting smacked around by Michigan. And we're playing in Georgia. It's in their backyard. It's an away game for us. Everybody there is going to be cheering against us. Most of the country hates us as it is. We're Ohio State. We're like the Yankees. It is what it is. So we got a target right now, and I think we're going to be very pumped up and very excited to play. So they better slow down what we're going to bring, because he's right. We're going to be pumped up. We're going to be ready.
TCU, what's your weakness?
I'm gonna do something a little different with our weakness. I think our weakness is starting games. If you look at TCU's first half stats versus their second half stats, they're a completely different team, especially defensively. You take the first game against Kansas State with 9 minutes left in the second quarter, you're down 28-10. You know, at home, blackout. I was in the corner. You could have heard a pin drop, you know, but from 9 minutes in the second quarter to the end of the game, you throw a shutout. Gillespie has done a good job with making adjustments at halftime all year. I just don't think you can afford the slow start. I don't think you can afford Duggan taking 3 series to get his feet under him. I don't think you can, you know, I always say a Riley brother is going to rally brother in a big game. You know, the Riley brothers tend to overthink. And when he tends to overthink, he tries to throw it too much. Put the ball in Kendre's hands, set the tone early, and then let's go. You know, I want Max to go too, right? But if you look at Max in that last touchdown against Kansas State, how blessed he had to get a crane to get my boy off the field. I mean, it can't be all 15. You know, it's got to be spread out. And I think, as much as I love Coach Riley and he's done a great job, obviously he won the Assistant Coach of the Year award. He's got to not overthink this first half in that first drive. And their first 15, every cultural team in the country has the first 15. Their first 15 has got to be very good. Michigan has to know early, okay, they are legit. The speed is real. You know, I don't think you can play from 14 behind them. And that's been their MO, TCU's MO all years. Oh, don't worry about it. 14's not nothing. We're good. Now, Michigan, it is something. Yeah. Michigan's on, as much as Georgia is, there's nothing wrong with us. Michigan wants that Georgia game. And I promise you, they're not overlooking TCU, but they're hungry to get back to Georgia. You know,
we mad. Oh, we mad after last year.
Right.
I'm telling you right now.
Right. And I don't blame you.
Look. And when we won the Big Ten, we didn't celebrate it.
Right.
Because we looked at it like we want the national title.
Right.
After last year, the first year was we beat Ohio State, won the Big Ten. We all happy. This year, we want the title.
Right.
So, yeah, Bulldogs, we want you in California. January the 9th. We want you at the national title game.
I'll just be honest with you, bro. I think you're wanting too much. I think I told him the other day we're all playing for second. But, you know, it is what it is. And I don't think
Michigan don't want us. They're scared of us. They do not want to see us again. Looking and begging for Georgia. Please keep Ohio State away from us.
Listen, man, I think, like I said, I think we can all agree college football as a whole this year was probably the most fun it's been in a long
Great
time.
Season.
Every time you turned the game on, it didn't matter whether it was Tulane or UNT or whoever it was. Everything was fun this year, man. These conferences were open. You know, Alabama was not just rolling people for once. I mean, it was, you know, good on Georgia. It's hard to get to the top. It's even harder to stay on top, you know, and they're taking everybody's best shot. And y'all have had 2 or 3 close games. That game was Missouri one, where it's kind of like
Missouri, games that shouldn't have been, you know.
Right.
That's how it goes.
But Kirby Smart is that guy, right? He is that coach. He's one of the more underappreciated coaches in the country. But if you look at all these coaches, Coach Day at Ohio State, you know, you have 4 of the top 10 coaches in the country. If you want to count Sonny, his first year, but the guy's won everywhere he's been, you know, except for Cal, but that's a whole other story. But I think you've got good coaches. I think you've got good coordinators all over the field. I think for the first time, we're going to have 2 really good semis. I think we're going to have a good final.
So,
you know,
so the question before the last question is this. If you guys got 30 seconds, what would you say to your team right now about playing this ball game? I start with Ohio State, you're number 4. So I'm gonna start with you. TCU, Michigan, and Georgia.
OH.
You got 30 seconds. What would you say to your team right now?
I
Sorry,
would
that
tell
wasn't a
them,
question. My apologies.
no, you're good.
Yeah.
I think I'd start off by telling them that that we're on the road in the playoff game. This is Georgia's home. We're already underdogs. We already got disrespected by Michigan. What are you going to do? Are you going to look beside you and are you ready to play? Are you just going to lay down? Are you going to bring it? Are you going to let the country know that everybody thinks you're frauds? Everybody thinks you're a fraudulent team. Go out there and show them that you're not frauds. This is your one opportunity. You get one chance in your lifetime to do something. This might be it. Don't let it go to waste. Right there.
TCU.
You know, just a reminder to tell them, hey, kind of similar story, right? All year you're 5-0. It's still TCU. You're 8-0. It's still TCU. You're 10-0. You're still TCU. You've beaten the odds all year. You know, don't stop. Don't let up. But our mantra all year has been 1-0. Let's get to 1-0 this week, right? We're not focused on winning 2 games right now. Focused on winning 1. Win every single rep. Every single rep you win, you're going to come out on top. You know, be who you are and don't let the moment be too big. And we'll walk out of here with our head held high. And let's just go get it. And I'm amped. I'm way too amped up for this game.
Michigan.
It's about business. Last year we got here. We was happy, celebrated, and got embarrassed. This year, we have a chance to do something that we haven't done since 1997, win the national title. And it starts by this game by beating TCU. Don't take it for granted. These guys are underground. They're playing with house money. They're going to throw everything at you to win this game. You stay focused. You remember what we taught you. You stick to the game plan, and you be physical. We're going to show those Big 12 people what physicality is about and brutality. This is like Mortal Kombat. We're going to hit them in the mouth. We're going to hit them again. And we're going to hit them again. And then we're going to finish them. And then we'll move on to the next. But we're going to take care of this business because we had some unfinished business like last year. Go Blue.
Okay, TCU, good luck, man.
Yeah, my jaw hurts. Somebody quit hitting the B button.
And okay, Jason.
I'm going to borrow a phrase from Kirby Smart. I would say, guys, you're either elite or you're not. You've gone all this. Listen, last year, they doubted you the whole way through. You won. You became the national champions. This year, they said, there's no way you're losing 15 draft players to the NFL. You got the top 5. There's no way. And we said, absolutely. It's next man up. We're coming at you. We have been pounding. Guys, I want to say to Georgia, I want to say, listen, you belong here, but you got to show it. You got to prove it. You got to be hungry. You got to work. You got to be disciplined. Keep your head in it. Don't let that number 1. You've done a great job. You have not let that number 1 go to your head yet. You've been keeping your head in the game. Listen, this is a game to get up for. You're either elite or you're not. If you want that dynasty, if you want to be rolling into these one championship after the other, that's what we're here to do. We're not practicing to be anybody. We're practicing to be everybody. And that's why you're here. Now go out and show them what you are made of.
Let me want to play for Georgia. Hey, can I be elite?
My God.
Hey, I want to be elite. Coach, put me in.
You're elite. You're elite.
Coach, put me in. Coach.
I'm elite. Put me in.
I got it, Coach. You know what I mean?
Hey, listen. Hey, has a fan more represented the school sounded like what a school is supposed to sound like than he does?
Probably
My
so.
God, you over there sounding like Kirby Smart. I'm
Yeah.
over here putting my stuff back on and trying to get ready to go. God bless.
That's
I'm over here
crazy.
changing shirts. Give me that Georgia Bulldog. I mean, golly.
It's
I love,
over.
it, bro.
right?
I love that. I love that.
My last question,
thank
guys,
you,
of the
guys.
night will be for all of you, all 4 of you. And I know we kind of touched on a little bit of that tonight. So we're going to just wrap it up with this last question for all of you guys. Georgia, starting with you. You got 45 seconds, okay? How do you advance to the championship game?
It all starts right here. Of course, it's the Georgia defense. Michael, the Georgia defense led by number 88, Jalen Carter. We got to put QB pressure. I talked, of course, about the trio, that famous trio, Kirby Smart, Will Muschamp, Wes Schumann, establishing the right defense game plan. They've got the adjustments they're going to make. But then what I didn't talk about was this offense led by Todd Monken. There's a reason he's the highest paid offensive coordinator in all of college football, because he's going to be scheming up a game plan for number 19, Brock Bowers, Big O, Darnell Washington, and Stetson Bennett, as we are going to be absolutely dynamic. You never know if he's going to have Brock Bowers doing an end around, if he's going to be running it, if he's going to be catching it. I mean, these guys, listen, Todd Monken knows how to get them open, and he knows how to score. We're going to hit 38 plus, no questions about it. That's what Todd's paid to do.
Ohio State, how do you advance to the championship game?
We got to play our game. We got to use our weapons, get the ball into our weapons' hand. We got to slow Jalen Carter down. We can't let him blow us up. That, like my boy said there, that's their game plan, and we got to focus on him. We got to be able to run the ball minimum 3 to 4 yards each time we run the ball. But we got to attack, and we got to create turnovers. We got to get a pick. We got to get a fumble. We need at least 2 turnovers, and we got to win the field position battle. We got to keep them on their side of the ball. We can't be buried on our side, long fields all game long. That's not going to work.
TCU, how do you advance to the championship game?
You make J.J. McCarthy play quarterback. You make J.J. McCarthy not just turn around and hand it off 40 times. You make J.J. McCarthy drop back and actually throw the ball, which he's not going to do. He's going to turn it over. You have to make him show the flaws he has in his games. The dude's only throwing it 12, 13, 14 times a game. TCU's number is 20. If J.J. McCarthy has to throw it 20 to 25 times, you're going to win the game. And I truly believe that. I just don't think McCarthy's arm is there. I think their run offense is legit. I just think our secondary is going to eat McCarthy alive. I just truly believe that. I don't think I just don't see it, man. I've said it all week. Make him play quarterback and you're going to win the game. And then ride 15. Let 15's emotion carry you. And I've said it this whole podcast, if you want to say it with me. Hand Kendra the ball. Get Kendra his touches. Make McCarthy play quarterback. You go win the game.
Michigan, how do you win? How do you advance to the championship game?
4 things Michigan needs to do. Number 1, control the line of scrimmage. If you beat them up and you smack them in the mouth in the trenches, you will wear them down and you will win this game. Number 2, no turnovers. Win the turnover battle. You know, we have tendency at times to fumble, interceptions, don't turn over the ball. We've been very good this year with the turnover margin. Number 3, no big plays defensively. Don't give up the big plays. You keep everything in front. And number 4, you get after the quarterback. You keep him in the pocket, but you get after him with inside pressure, and then make sure the edges hold that edge so he cannot run outside. If you do those 4 things, title game.
Blouses.
Well, guys, to me, that says a lot, man. Look, we're just fans, man, but we love our program and we love our football. And we have passion about our football. We invest a lot of time, a lot of energy. A lot of people go to games a lot
of money.
A lot of people invest a lot of money and time into this. So this is just a perspective from fans who love their programs. You know, Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, TCU. Man, you guys have all earned the right to be here this year. You guys have all right to have earned the right to play for the national championship. But you got to get past your first opponent. That's number 1. And I think if you guys understand that your teams can't look past who you playing in the first game, then I think it gives you guys a chance to advance. Man, this has been a great show. I want to thank Mitchell, Max, Jason, and Tremaine. Did I say it right this time?
Yeah, you good, man.
Good. I got it, baby. Tremaine, I got it. Hey, it only took 100 times for me to get it right. So my
You
apologies.
good, man.
Hey, man, these guys, they represent, man. And they came on here and you could tell they was passionate. Mitch, man, I could tell you pumped up. I could tell you were
He's
pumped up for the
ready.
ball
He's
game.
ready to go.
Hey,
Yeah,
between
absolutely.
that and the lack of sleep, man, I told you when we get on, just had that baby between the sleep and all that, it's no, I'm amped, bro. I love this team. I love the school.
Man.
I love the hate they get, I just love college football as a whole, though. It's been so
Oh,
nice.
good, man.
Hey, the last thing I'm gonna tell y'all, COVID took 2 years away from us with fans in the stands. This year has been so great to see us have the pageantry that is college football back.
College football
Amen.
is back, man.
Yeah,
It
man.
is. College
It's great.
football is back. So
So
once again, man, thank you so much for watching, tuning in for Second to None. This has been a special edition for the college football playoffs for 2022. Georgia against Ohio State, Michigan against TCU. It's going to be electrifying. All four of these ball clubs are coming to win. You got two teams who lost games or wasn't really sure what was going to happen in Ohio State and TCU, but they got in. I feel like now that you're here, it's a brand new season, and anyone can take home the title. It just depends on who wants it the most and the worst. So thank you for joining Second to None. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Good luck to all you guys in the national
Thank you.
championship.
yes,
Thank
sir.
you, man.
And I have
Great.
to end it with saying SEC is the best.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye, Michael.
And just remember, 2 Big Ten teams,
There you go.
1 SEC.
That's okay. Hey, SEC, take it home for us, baby.
Okay.
Hey,
We got
Georgia,
you.
Michael, isn't it basketball season, bud?
I know, right?
Basketball season for you?
Yeah. So, okay. So, hey, I appreciate it, guys, and you guys have a good evening. Once I actually get this up to YouTube or a podcast, I'll send you guys a link or whatever. You guys can go watch it or whatever. So I appreciate that, and good luck to all of you guys in the playoffs this year.
Much love.
Thank
Good
you.
luck,
Thank
boys.
you.
Good
Hey,
luck,
look.
man.
All right, bye.
See you guys.
Here y'all.